Hello, and welcome to the Roofing, Siding, and Painting Contractors Podcast, the show where we talk with real contractors about what's working in their business, what they've learned along the way, and how they're growing in today's competitive home improvement industry. I'm your host, Jenni from RenoWorks, and each episode we sit down with experienced exterior contractors who share practical insights on sales, marketing, hiring, and systems that actually make a difference. Whether you're just getting started or looking to take your contracting business to the next level, you'll hear stories, strategies, and lessons that can help you succeed straight from the pros who've been there. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's jump into today's conversation. Today, I'm joined by Carrie Moreau, co-founder and CEO of Certified Best Roofing in Central Florida. Carrie and her brother started Certified Best Roofing with a focus on quality workmanship, fair pricing, and treating every customer like family. With a background in real estate and construction, she brings a unique perspective on what homeowners really need and how to build trust in a competitive market. Now, before we dive in, welcome to the show. Can you introduce yourself to our listeners, tell us what your company does, and give us a quick backstory on how you ended up there?
Sure. Hi, Jenni. Thanks so much for having me on today. I really appreciate it. My name is Carrie Moreau. I'm the co-owner and operator of Certified Best Roofing. Like you said, we're actually located in Oviedo, Florida, which is Central Florida. So for those of you who are curious, we're basically 30 minutes north of Disney World. It
It's
helps
a good
indicate where we
reference.
are. Yeah.
Yep.
So we headed to see the
Everyone
house. We're
knows.
just 30 minutes from there.
Nice.
What got me started in the construction space is my brother has always been in construction in one way or another his whole career, and when he decided to go get his license and to be on his own, it was a really easy conversation to join him in that space because I've always been an entrepreneur and always been a business owner. Office systems and customer service is always really important to me, so we basically combined our superpowers to create this amazing space that we have. This amazing company.
That's fantastic. Yeah, it's always great to see siblings running a business together. There's usually a built-in trust and understanding that comes from growing up side by side.
Yeah.
So that's great. Well, speaking of trust, you also have a background in real estate. So you're used to constantly building trust with clients and making a good first impression. How has that shaped your approach to sales and roofing? And what's the quickest way you found to earn a homeowner's confidence?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that we don't do is we don't do any door knocking, which sets us apart immediately in the market here in Florida. There's a lot of roofing companies, and if your neighborhood doesn't have a gate, then roofers are knocking on your door a lot. They're knocking on your door a lot. They're talking in your yard. And so one of the ways we set ourselves apart is that we're not storm chasers, we're not door knockers. So we focus primarily on our community that's local to us, and networking is how we meet people. My history in real estate has given me a great perspective in relating to homeowners because there's so many nuances that go into like their insurance. Here in Florida is like insurance companies are canceling people left and right for the age of their roof. Talking to them about how long do they plan on owning the home? So if they're planning on, staying there long term, just understanding that real estate's your largest investment. So speaking into that and asking them their plans for the future will help them make better decisions about when they are replacing their roof. What are the options in front of them? So, here in Florida with our storm seasons and just the wear and tear on the roofs, shingles might not be the best option for them, especially if they plan on owning the home for, 25 years or more. So why keep replacing your roof over and over again when insurance companies are dictating the age? Like the shingle isn't dictating the age. It's like the product age. It's the weather, and the insurance companies are saying, oh yeah, you have to replace it year 10 or sometimes year 12. It just depends on which insurance company you're with. So, just taking
Yeah.
all that information together and looking at the broader picture. It's not just like what's happening right now, but what may be coming in the future. So I think that having the experience in real estate gives me that broader perspective, and sets us apart in those, building trust in those relationships with our homeowners.
Yeah, that's interesting that you said the insurance companies are rejecting claims because of the age. Because
Yeah. Well,
definitely there are storm chasers. So,
there's a lot of different things that play into that. So like if someone is selling their home and their roof, I mean, it used to be your roof, at least here in our landscape, it would be that, 20 years, that's the life you're getting. Like if you maintained it and you didn't have like extreme storms causing damage, normal wear and tear, your roof's going to last you between 20 and 22 years. Well, now it doesn't matter. Your roof could have still not have any granule loss, not have any storm damage, not have any issues, and still performing, no leaks, no nothing. But the age, based on when your roof was installed on the permit, the insurance company will say, okay, your roof's old, replace it. So it could be
Right.
8 years, it could be 10 years, it could be 12. So we get on roofs and we see your roof has life. So we do a lot of roof certifications and signing off, like they at least have to have 5 years. So sometimes it'll buy that homeowner another year with their insurance policy. But if you're selling the home, the new buyer can't get insurance unless they get a new roof. And it's just,
Right.
it's me. Like
Oh, I
I guess I
see.
should
Yeah.
be happy about
Lots of
that because I'm
levels.
roofing.
Yeah.
But
You get to
so
sell
many
a bigger job.
right, like, I guess I should be like, "Oh, great, the insurance companies are dictating all of this," but it's just a trickle down effect, right? So, tearing off a
Yeah.
roof that's performing doesn't make a lot of sense, I don't think, to anyone, even if I am a roofer. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, I'll fix your roof, but if you can, make it another few years, that just makes sense. People don't have the money, to replace their roof because it used to be, you
Right.
bought a home and you didn't have to replace your roof. If you lived in it for an extended amount of time, you might replace your roof once. So I'm seeing
Yeah.
homeowners replace their roof maybe in the time frame they own it, of the 30 years they own it, but they may replace it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that helps set you apart that you're thinking about the person as a person, not just a sale. You're trying to build that into your reputation as that personal kind of approach. So I can see that
Yes.
that's working for you as well. And you don't do door knockers. So what's the number one marketing strategy that's currently working well for you?
Right now, it is network marketing is what's working for us.
Network
So
marketing, right.
yeah. So our office, we are members of different chapters of a networking international networking group called Business Networking International. So I don't know if you've ever heard of it or not, but basically there's chapters all over the world, and so we have the local chapter that I'm a part of, and so I hold the roofing seat in that chapter. And then my brother
Right.
is a member of a chapter; he holds the roofing seat, and then so is one of our senior salesperson. He holds one. So we're in 3 chapters, and then we're actively involved in the community. I serve on the board of our local chamber of commerce, and then we're
Mhm.
members of 2 other chambers. So between community events, networking, and then of course, we do SEO, and all those things too. But we dialed down how much we're spending on SEO because the amount of referrals coming in. So 90% of our business is referral based. So whether it's from
Wow.
previous clients previous clients that are referring friends and family members or new contacts we're making in the community that are coming to us for business, which we consider that a referral. Like, or realtors that we are having relationships with. That's another area that we get a lot of business from is realtor relationships. And that my
Mhm.
previous experience in real estate really plays into that because I understand the timing and we've built our office, like our response time in our office around being able to communicate with real estate professionals, which not everybody can handle how much communication you have to do with that side of the industry. But like I understand what they're going through. I understand a lot of it psychological for those buyers and sellers, and the realtor is like their real estate therapist, and they
Right.
need prompt response, they need fast response, they need all these things. So
Mhm.
we do we get a lot of business. So realtors refer us to other realtors, refer us to refers. Um, so yeah, that's the majority of what's working for us with marketing.
Wow. So you got pretty warm leads then, and that
Yeah,
if
yeah.
they're
Our close
word of
ratio
mouth and
is 50% on our or more on our referrals. And our SEO referrals we get from Google are not referrals. The business we get from Google, we're at 50% close ratio. And then on referrals, I haven't gone back and tracked it. I need to, but I mean, when I'm at 50% for everything, I think that's a good number. So I don't like dial down real
Mhm.
deep into it. But if I had to guess, I know my numbers pretty well. If I had to guess, I would say it's like 70% for the referrals is our close ratio.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, that's definitely good. Everything above 50%, and it sounds pretty efficient in your sales and marketing. Um, that's great. Well, I also wanted to jump into what it looks like behind the scenes once the work starts. So how do you make sure everything runs smoothly once you've got that customer? Do you
We
have any
ask our
processes or
Yeah.
systems?
We ask our salesperson to be very detailed in the note taking and the communication with the homeowner. So setting the proper expectation. So it starts with the very first conversation of that, like at contract signing, we talk about the 5-star review at the end. So we have that conversation so we can set the expectations of what a 5-star means for them and what it means for us to make sure we're aligning and that our goal is at the end. And one of the things I say is that when we get to the end and we're all finished, you're making your final payment. When you see me at the grocery store, I want you to be happy to see me and walking towards me to say
Mhm.
hello, not running the other direction because what you just went through was
Yes.
so excruciatingly awful. So let's set our
Horrible, yeah.
expectations. Yeah. And what's interesting about that conversation is that what means 5-star to me from my perspective doesn't mean always 5-star to the homeowner. So I even had one client
Right.
I asked him, "So what are you looking for in a roofer?" And his answer was was the craziest answer I've ever gotten, and that's why it stands out in my mind. He said,
Mhm.
"Personality." And so
Oh,
my
really?
response was, "How am I doing?" I like
Yeah.
gave him some jack
Yeah,
because it
there
was
you go.
personality. Like,
Y
really? So I guess his
yeah.
expectation is that he already researched us. He was a referral. He knew that we could do the basics. So the basics were
Right.
covered. So in his mind, it
Mhm.
was more driven towards the relationship and
Yeah.
the enjoyment in that relationship. But if I didn't have
Mhm.
that conversation with him or ask him like, what are you looking for? I would have never known that was the primary. And I could have focused on
Right.
deliverables and timing and all these other things and then ignored the human aspect. And then he would have been disappointed in the end. And I would have been like, look, we did all these great things for you. And he would have
Confused.
been like,
Yeah.
Maggie, you're like a whole noodle. I don't really like you. So
Yeah, I
he,
don't know you still.
yeah.
Yeah,
So it was
it's
important for him
interesting.
that we were interested in him as an individual. That was important to him. So I don't
Mhm.
think there's many people, maybe it's because I'm a woman, of course, right? So maybe it's because I'm a woman in a man's space, but I find
Yeah.
so many of these nuances that I feel like somebody probably wouldn't discover. And but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Um, maybe I'm
No,
wrong
I
on that. I
think you
don't know.
should. Yeah, well, I'm a woman too, we have to lean into where our strengths are, so there's definitely a lot more men in construction, I've noticed that as well.
Yeah, like I work with guys, my brother and then our senior salesperson, Robert. I don't they when I tell them those conversations about homeowners, they just look at me like, why do you care? Like
Yeah.
makes no sense. And I'm like,
Mm,
it matters because,
like,
I
whatever.
think our Google rating is 4.9. And the reason why we're 4.9 is we had someone leave us a 1-star that was never a customer, like some weird,
Oh,
obscure, mean person
yeah,
that we
and you're like,
sent to
"We're a
what
real business." Yeah,
yeah.
that's the worst.
But we're
But
4.9. So if people go and read our reviews, it's the same thing every single time. Like, was that we
mhm,
cared, that we paid attention to detail, that we showed up when we said we would. Like the basics are what's setting us apart, which is really interesting to me because like there's a
mhm,
level of, I have a level of expectation. Like I need to show up when I say I'm going to show up. I need to return phone calls. I need to be transparent in my pricing. I need
mhm,
to, have open communications with the homeowners. We need to answer our phone. We need to be insured. We need our people to show up on site and keep it clean. Like to me, these are all just the basics. And
right,
other people that we're competing against, yes, some of them do all the same things we do and they do it really, really well. But the reason why we stand
mhm,
out is because there's more people not doing the basics. And that
right.
blows my mind. Blows my mind.
Yeah, you're taking it a whole nother level by also building in that relationship and making people enjoy the process. So that's amazing to always cover the basics. Let's just set that bar and
That's the
um
bar. So, going
yeah.
back to the question you asked, like, what are our processes? So it starts at that sales appointment, for the salesperson to find out those nuances that matter to this person that may be different from the next homeowner. So whether,
Mhm.
some people care a lot about a special tree or a special thing in their yard. I don't know, like their driveway, they're really picky about their driveway. Like they'll share with you the things that are important to them. And then you can pay
Right.
attention to those things and still do all the basics but pay a little bit of extra
Mhm.
attention to those things. And then when you get to the end, because we listened, and even if it's construction, sometimes most times, even though we
Yeah.
know it still doesn't land the way we want. But
Right.
because we asked and because we were willing to know and to have that conversation, and they're able to tell us, because I'll say, I won't know something's going wrong unless you tell me. So please, if
Mhm.
any time something's not going the way that we've discussed and that you expect, just send me a text or give me a call and I'll take care of it for
Mhm.
you. And just leaving that
Yeah.
door open that they know that they can express anything that they don't feel comfortable with.
Mhm.
I think it helps alleviate some of the stress with homeowners, because we do roofs every day, but they're only probably going to do
Right.
one on the
Right.
house they live in, and then that's it.
Yeah. The last thing they need is more stress. This is already a very stressful, expensive
We have
project. So,
we use company cam and we use job nimbus, and we have our subs like in those softwares, and we have like on a selections page they're signing off on everything. Like, I feel like all of those things are basics, and I think the thing that isn't basic
mhm,
is those extra conversations and asking more information about what it is they're really looking for, like
that
the guy
personal side.
personality, like
Yeah, exactly. You're like, that wasn't in my checklist.
it would never be there.
No. So, yeah, that's good. That's so when you collect that information then, are you putting it into your CRM or for the project manager or the guys that are going out and doing the roof so
Yes,
everyone kind of
yes.
knows this is
Uh-huh.
important, don't let the dog out or don't
Yes.
step
Yeah,
on their
we do
flowers.
the same things. Like, we had one homeowner, I said, "What's the most important thing to you for this project that we can pay attention to that would really make me feel like we did a great job?" And she's like, "I have 7 dogs. So when you guys
Oh,
are done
wow.
every day, I don't want to have to worry about letting them out in the yard and worrying about them stepping on a nail or anything like that. So that's really important to me."
Yeah.
So I would have
Wow.
never known I had 7 dogs if
Yeah.
we were
You
doing everything
can
like remotely, like we were doing things over Zoom and DocuSign. And unless
Right.
unless I asked her, what else, like, can I note here to make sure we do, take care of your family and your
Mhm.
property, like, I would have, if I didn't ask that question, then who knows, like, we would have left the gate open and there would have been a little bit, maybe they didn't do the extra sweep in the backyard,
Yeah,
um,
because they thought
yeah, but
maybe it's not a big deal or yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a standard
Um,
question on a roofing selections page. How many dogs do you
right. Never met anyone with even 4 dogs, I
Same.
think, 7. Um, so you did a virtual. Do you do a lot of virtual sales then? Or is that just
Um,
a one time?
no, they're common, like, because we work with realtors, they'll have a homeowner who lives in Maryland, and so they've
Mhm,
got to be able to sign documents remotely. We've got to be able to get permitting signed remotely, all of that. So we built those systems in. Plus, I want my team, like, my team is fairly young as far as like who works in the office, and just knowing about the culture of the age groups of people that work for you. Like, if you've got someone in their 50s and someone in their mid 20s working for you, they don't communicate the
mhm,
same. Their values aren't the same. Um, they have different ideas of what makes a healthy work environment. So I've set it up to where, our younger team members, they can be flexible with where they're working from. So we're paperless with everything, so they can. Except they have to print a permit pack, right? There's some stuff that not everything is caught up, but we
right.
try to make
It's
everything
construction
as
industry.
try to make everything as paperless as we can, and also so that they can be remote. So, like, the phone system we use, it works off their personal cell phones, and we can transfer who's answering around, around within the system. And so, yeah, like, those are some of the things that we've set up too to just make it better for our employees, not only our clients, but for our employees as well. But yeah, it's not a
Mhm.
ton of remote things that we get signed, but it is, it's a decent amount to where we need to have those things in place.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. I know some contractors are still they think no one's gonna buy if I go remote. It's too I'm gonna lose that personal connection. So to hear you guys are so focused on still having that personal connection, but able to sometimes still do that even though it's remote, that's fantastic. So
Yeah.
that's very interesting.
Yeah, it
Um,
is. It's hard to have a personal connection with a homeowner that's in Maryland, right? But the personal connection is
true.
with the realtor that's local to us. So I think that probably
Right.
helps
So you
out.
get that
Yeah.
referral. Yeah. Okay,
Mhm.
that makes sense. Um, well, that leads me it's a nice segue to talk about your team. So you've said you've got a younger generation in the office. How do you attract and keep good people in your business?
I use a fractional HR person to recruit my people.
Oh,
I don't do it.
yeah. Okay, great. Yeah.
So,
All right. So that's
yeah,
great. You hire
yeah,
the experts.
yeah. So in my
Nice.
networking sphere, I have a woman who owns it's called MS Consulting Services, and she helps me draft the job description. I give it to her. She does all the advertising. It's like a one-stop shop. So she sets everything up, gets everything ready, screens the candidates, then lets me know, okay, I have 6 candidates ready to interview. What is your availability for interviews? And then I let her know. She books them all. I sit at my office and I wait for people to arrive, and then I, of course, like get the best candidate out of that. And so
Hmm.
she has a guarantee, like you will find the person you want within 45 days. And what she charges me is just, it saves me so much time and so much money working with her.
Hmm.
That it's not a recruiter. That's not what she is. She is like an outside HR person. So like if I had somebody working for me, I couldn't afford a full-time HR person at the size that I am, but I can
Hmm.
definitely afford her services because it's like a contractual basis for just that thing. And
Right.
so that's how I do it, and working with her, I mean, majority of my office is family. There's 4 of us that are related. So it's me, my brother, my daughter, and then her husband, my son-in-law. Um, Using that outside fractional HR person, it's so affordable. And the best employees that I have came through her services. So I refer her to everyone that owns I was at an event the other day and I walked in, and one of my friends who has a concrete coating company, you know, waved me down from across the room. I was like, "Hey, you got somebody, right? I need to hire. Like, I need help with this. I don't have time for all these Indeed ads and screening the applicants and doing all this stuff." And he's like, "Refer me your person." And I was like, "Yeah, here you go." Same thing for a flooring company. Just refer to. I mean, I'm like selling her to everybody. She's so
Yeah,
grateful
that's good.
for,
Yeah.
for knowing for not
Well,
having to refer with me because I keep just lobbing clients over to her. I'm like, it is there's so many, as a business owner, we take on so many things and think that we have to do it, or I
right.
know this is for me, like I have to do it. It has to be right here with me because I've got the job, I've got the title, I own the company. Or maybe
Hmm.
in my mind I eliminate help because I think I can't afford it. So
Hmm.
I
Right.
didn't even consider
Like,
it
what's the
because
worth?
I just assumed I couldn't afford her. But she
Hmm.
pursued me and she was like, "Hey, I offer this service. I don't know if it's good for you." And I was like, "Well, how much is it?" And I was thinking it was going to be like a salary. It was going to be some crazy number that I couldn't afford. And when she told me how much it was, and I don't know what her prices are now, so I don't want to share that because I don't want to
Right.
misquote.
Yeah.
But
Fair enough.
yeah, like no, but it was basically like a week's pay for one of these employees, and it was a service that was 45 days worth of her doing all that work. And when I, do the math on the time it would have taken me, it would have cost me way more with my time to do what she did. And so
Right.
I was like, this isn't a brain. Every time I have a position open, I just say, hey, this is what we want. Write the job description. Help me with this. Let's go. Let's get this out there. And she does.
Yeah,
So fractional HR,
that's
that's
good.
who people can look for.
Great. That's awesome. Well, hopefully she gets some more business from this.
I
But yeah,
know.
that's fantastic. You definitely need to
And I'm sure
know
people love
what's your
to hear that
time
too
worth.
as well. Yeah.
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 Hire the experts where
Mhm.
someone's going to do a better, more efficient job. Just, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
hand it
I
out.
want to focus on roofs and my clients. I don't even know the first thing about how to screen the right candidate. I'm like, oh,
Hmm.
they showed up on time. They dress
Yeah,
nice. They smell nice. Okay. Yeah. They could
right.
you know, and then I don't really know, I don't really know how to
Yeah,
screen
what's the
people.
right questions? Yeah. How do
Mhm.
you know if they're going to just completely turn on you the next day? So, yeah, that's great. Um, awesome. Well, it sounds like you've got a good system to get good people. I want to kind of pivot into lessons that you've learned along the way now, and any tips that you might have for other contractors. So, what's a big challenge you faced in your business, and how did you overcome it?
Mm. I feel like there's so many that they're flooding my mind, and so I just need
Yeah.
to pick one to keep in mind, right? Because I don't think we talk enough about I mean, I don't think we talk enough about the grit it takes to be a business owner and the challenges we're faced with. If I go to a dinner with friends and none of them are self-employed and I start talking about the challenges I have and the things I'm facing, they just get like tired of listening to it. They tune me out. They don't understand.
Yeah.
So I think it's great that you have
Right.
this platform so that, even if I'm not talking to like a room full of entrepreneurs or in construction, at least we know we're not alone and we can hear these stories and be like, okay, yeah, like that happened to me too. So,
Yeah,
there's
definitely.
many challenges. So what's going to drop down from the cloud of my brain? The most recent challenge I'm having is homeowners or, projects or whatever that are slow to pay. So,
Oh, yeah.
well, yeah, like, and then if it's compiling with like a week where there's payroll, and then it's like, you're getting pecked to death by duck. It's not any big issue that's coming at me. We still have business coming in, but like the timing of
Mhm.
payments and the timing to pay out suppliers, and like I did not realize before I got started. Like I'd been in real estate, like I'd shared like real estate mortgages, like I am the real estate mortgage and title company was my previous career. And, like, yes, there was cash flow management. There's always cash flow constraints in a business. You want to take care of your people and everything goes with timing. But in
Mhm.
construction, you have to be like a small bank. And that's one
Yeah.
of the things I did not I mean, it's kind of naive now that I think about it. Like, what do you mean you didn't know that? But I think that
Mhm.
I did, but I didn't quite get it. Like I had a high level understanding, but I didn't understand like how that it would affect me. It affects me in my what I what I'm thinking about. Like it consumes a
Yeah.
lot of my brain power as far as like managing my business. A lot of time and effort goes into cash flow management and constant conversations about, are we getting the right pricing from our suppliers? Are we getting the right pricing from our, if we use a sub, are we getting the right, labor costs and all these different things. Insurance. What the heck? Liability insurance?
Mhm.
Why is it so
Yeah.
expensive? Never got a claim. I don't
Yeah.
understand. I have a
You
magic wand,
have
Jen.
to have it, so
I have a magic and if I could if this wand had any power, I would wave it,
Mhm.
and we would
Yeah.
all be in a collective pool of risk, and then we'd all get better discounts on our liability insurance. But,
That would be
that's
amazing.
wouldn't it be amazing? Because, like,
Yeah.
we've been in business 5 years, and,
Mhm.
we're so grateful that we haven't had, to lean on our insurance for anything, or anyone who's come at me, like, knock on the wood. I don't wanna say it out loud, right? So, like, we've been very
Right.
fortunate that we haven't had any issues, and so it's important to have it, but gosh, and then, like, the
Yeah.
timing. I should have started my business during busy season, because my renewal every year for my liability comes at the slowest month
Yeah.
in roofing.
Yeah, you've gotta
Ah,
just
what
set
a
that
change.
aside. Oh,
If
yeah.
anyone's listening and they're starting a business in Florida, do it
Yeah.
during hurricane season. Do it when it's busy for roofing, because that yearly
Yeah,
renewal
you've got
will
cash
be,
flow and
yes, will be at a time where
yeah,
it's not a stressful thing.
you've already
Yeah.
got enough to think about, then it's time for all the bills to come out and it's yeah,
Yes. Slow
that makes
season. Like,
sense.
I didn't even know
Yeah.
about slow seasons. I should have, but it's just so many things to consider. Oh
Yeah, well,
well. Well,
yeah, I mean, these are things you learned, and hopefully someone else can hear that
yes.
and think
Yes.
about it.
Yes.
Is there anything changed this year compared to the last couple years, and have you guys, had to adjust?
Yeah, well, something changed in 2022 in Florida. It's where they changed all the laws for insurance companies and the way that, claims are handled, and especially when there's lawsuits. So that was a big change in the industry. It wasn't quite necessarily this year. Um, I don't really know if that was such a big change that it, kind of just changed the landscape from then to now. Um, so there
Mhm.
hasn't been, from my perspective, there hasn't been any major changes, other than like so many price increases since 2020. It's mind boggling how many price increases, and how expensive a roof is today compared to where it was 5 years ago.
Mhm.
But most recently, I don't really know, like, and it's like it's kind of unknown. So I was like,
This year.
Mhm.
Fair enough. But yeah,
So,
definitely the cost of everything that impacts your prices, and then that impacts your cash flow and everything. I can see it's
mhm.
one of those things that's already stressful enough to think about money, but now you're thinking about, am I paying everybody, and do I have enough money for everything? And so I can see how that would take a lot of your mind. It's been great. Thank you for sharing so much so far. I want to ask a few questions about what makes you, I mean, you've already given a lot of good information, but what makes you a great company to hire? Is there one thing you think homeowners can do that can help make the project go more smoothly?
Hmm. One thing they can do to make it go more smoothly. Like if every homeowner could be like the perfect customer.
Yes, exactly. What would you want them to all do?
Mhm. I mean, one, I don't know if it's just one thing, but trusting us to be the contractor, and they've done the research to choose us.
Mhm.
Trust the choice they've made and allow us to work with them, work for them, work with them. But, if I could again pull out my magic wand and wave it around, is that they would assume the best. So one of the
Mhm.
things I mean by that is just this past week, we had a homeowner, we had one of our installers installing a roof. It was, you would think in Florida that we'd be getting cooler weather by now, and we are not. So it is still, we're
Yeah.
having days where it's 96 degrees outside, and so until someone has worked on a roof for 8 or 10 hours, they don't have a clue of what it's like and how hot it is on a roof, right? So we
Mhm.
had a
Yep.
homeowner this past week who called. That was actually a neighbor of a roof we were doing called, and was wanted to report back to us how lazy our crew is, and
Oh,
tell
wow.
us all the details of this lazy crew. So it was a really hot day, and it had rained the day before. So it wasn't just the heat, it was the humidity as well. So it's like you're just basically in the jungle on top of the roof dying. Not dying, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah,
So one
trying
of
not to fall off the roof.
Yeah, and so, like,
Just
one of our team members had come down from the roof and had gone to throw something in the dumpster, and so I know this now, but the phone call I got was, "Your people are lazy. I need to talk to an owner," and we didn't know who it was calling in. So, get
Mhm.
all the information from this person, and basically it was that she saw one snippet of what they were doing. So,
Mhm.
he had come off the roof, decided to pick up stuff off the ground. So he's like bending down, standing up, bending down, standing up, right? Putting stuff in the dumpster,
Mhm.
and he got lightheaded. So he immediately
Oh, yeah.
laid down where he was. Like he didn't walk around. He
Oh,
didn't go find a quiet space. He didn't go to his truck. He
yeah.
just laid down where he was because he didn't want to pass out, right? So he felt it and he
Yeah.
laid down. And then he laid there for a second. And it's like from the top of the roof, "Hey, are you okay? Yeah, I'm good. Just do
Yeah.
you lay here for a minute?" And so he
Yeah.
laid there for, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes goes by. And that's what she saw. She saw that.
Mhm.
And that's what she
And didn't
thinks.
think,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe he needs
So
medical
now
help. That would have been
exactly,
a
exactly,
decent human being thought.
yeah. So
But
it's that whole thing of like, if you see someone like I have a new appreciation for driving down the road and seeing a construction crew not doing anything. If you see
mhm.
them not doing
Fair.
anything, it's because they need to take a second. You like
Yeah.
they need to
They
take
were
a second.
doing enough
They were doing a lot
before.
before you saw. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess, if I could wave the wand, and I'd be like for homeowners to trust us to do what they've hired us to do. And of course, we're
Mhm.
there to listen to any problems, but sometimes they're telling us problems that, be a helper, even in this situation with people. And we do have amazing clients
Yeah.
who are like, set up a tent and like have a cooler under it and put some lawn chairs out
Yeah.
and
Some
do amazing
lemonade.
things for our crews that are not expected at all, nor are they needed or required. Like I'm not saying that anyone needs to do that, but
Mhm.
we have the excuse. But if I can level it out, maybe trust the people
Yeah.
you've hired to do the job you need them to do. That's it.
Mhm. That's good advice. Yeah, that's great. Well, that's a perfect note to end on. And I really appreciate you taking the time to share your story and all the lessons that you've learned along the way. And thanks again for joining us today. It's a pleasure chatting with you.
Yeah, Jenny, thanks.
That's it for today's episode of the Roofing, Siding, and Painting Contractors podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and leave us a review to help more contractors discover the show. This podcast is brought to you by RenoWorks, the visualization software that helps contractors show homeowners what their new roof, siding, paint, or anything on the exterior will look before the job even starts. You can learn more on our website at www.renoworks.com. Thanks for listening, and until next time, keep building, keep learning, and keep growing your business.